Automobile magazine was founded on the premise that it would be no boring cars, and also that we would be taking interesting cars on interesting roads to, cool places, meet great people, and then write about that experience. So our readers came to expect that from us. When they read a review of a car, they would understand what it really was like to drive the car and be part of it. So consequently, our all-star testing, all it means is we bring all the best cars for the year, all of our favorites and all the brand new ones we think are contenders for Automobile of the Year. We live with those cars. We put on hundreds of miles during the week, taking notes on each car. To be eligible for Automobile Magazine's 2010 Automobile of the Year, a car had to be all new for the 2010 model year on sale, and also we had to be able to drive it, and a few cars were not available for us to test, so they were ineligible. In the end, we had 34 eligible vehicles. 17 editors came together to drive, evaluate, and vote for our Automobile of the Year. The 34 candidates were the Audi S4, the BMW 7 Series, the BMW Z4, the Buick LaCrosse, the Chevrolet Camaro, the Ferrari California, the Ford Fusion Hybrid, the Ford Taurus and Taurus SHO, the Honda Insight, the Hyundai Genesis Coupe, the Kia Forte, the Kia Soul, the Lexus HS250H, the Lotus Evora, the Mazda 3 and Mazda Speed 3, the Mercedes-Benz E-Class, the Nissan 370Z, the Nissan Cube, the Porsche Panamera, the Subaru Legacy and Legacy Outback, the Suzuki Kizashi, the Toyota Prius, the Volkswagen GTI, and among SUVs, trucks, and vans, the Acura ZDX, the Audi Q5, the Cadillac SRX, the Chevrolet Equinox, the GMC Terrain, the Kia Sorento, the Lexus RX 350, the Lincoln MKT EcoBoost, the Mercedes-Benz GLK class, and the Volvo XC60.
Gingerman Raceway in Western Michigan. We come here because this is a great complement to on-the-road evaluations. It's off the road. It's on a racetrack. None of these cars are race cars. We're not looking for a car to win races or to compete. We're just looking for the far fringes of performance, the ragged edge. What does it behave like when you're using all the adhesion, all the power, all the brakes? We want to do that in a safe way. We want to bring everybody and every car back home. So at Gingerman, we can run laps in a controlled way, learn the path of the course, learn the nuances of the cars, and add to our knowledge base. Some of these high-performance cars are quite at home here, believe me. They're better than race cars of 10 years ago in many respects, in terms of power, grip, brakes, the technology they bring. So this is an excellent place to do this.
The Jaguar XFR takes everything we love about the regular XF, all those dynamic qualities, amps them up to another degree, and can still be driven like a regular XF. It's not like an M5, which is requiring a lot of its driver every minute you're behind the wheel.
Audi is the first company to take a step back from the horsepower wars and say, all right, we're gonna replace a V8 with a V6, even though it's supercharged, and it has nominally less power. It's got more torque, it's faster, it feels better to drive, and it gets better fuel economy. They addressed everything that everybody complained about with the S4, with the new one. And it was really fantastic to drive on the track. I was really surprised by it.
There's a lot to be said for it. And the biggest thing is the difference between this S4 and the last one. I mean, it's really cool that they finally hit BMW and hit the BMW target, but B, that they went from the last S4 being so bad to this one being so good.
Audi pulled up even with BMW. Yay, they pulled up even with a 4-year-old 3 Series. I mean, it's not the world's biggest achievement. If that's the world's biggest achievement, then what was the 335i 4 years ago? I mean, It's great for Audi, but I don't think it's a revelation for the car market or the car business this year.
The thing I like about the Fusion Hybrid is it's basically a Toyota technology with a better execution. Broader appeal, good mileage, smoother and more enjoying to drive than Toyota's very latest.
It takes exactly what the Toyota name was supposed to do. Fuel economy, reliability, all that stuff. And it's in the Ford, which is something a lot of people discounted until this year when they didn't take the money. Who talked about Ford before 2009, late 2008? They were kind of an also-ran. And they took, as Don's pointed out and Ezra, similar technology to Toyota, better refinement. The whole thing works better. It works if you drive the Fusion Hybrid, Altima Hybrid, and Camry Hybrid back to back, as Evan and David and I did earlier this year. The Fusion stays in battery mode the longest. It feels the best as an enthusiast, better fuel economy, and that's how it breaks the ground because it's the first fetching mid-size hybrid sedan, and the mid-size sedan is still one of the biggest segments out there, the most important segment for any manufacturer.
If there were a hybrid that had the performance of the 335D, we would be all over it as this triumph. The 335D is oddly taken for granted, even though it's only been out for a few months. And maybe it's because it's been out for a few months, and maybe we all drove it earlier in the summer or something. It's already kind of faded from memory because it's a 3 Series, and because it's so inherently normal. The only thing abnormal about it is that it gets 40 miles per gallon. But you could have a stack of articles this thick prior to that of reviews of cars in Europe bitching about, oh, what a great diesel this is, but we don't get it here. And then finally we get one that is everything that we've always been complaining that we don't get, and it's kind of just like, well, yeah, it's not my favorite 3 Series. You know, granted a 335i is outright faster, but the whole 0 to 60 in 6 seconds and 40 miles per gallon is pretty unheard of, and it's not crazy expensive, and it still handles great, and it's still BMW luxury interior and everything else. It's a pretty serious package.
The diesel thing, the emissions takes away the fuel economy, and the fuel economy benefits of a diesel are now going to gas engines. You get direct injection, turbo, at a lower cost than the diesel engine, and the fuel's still cheaper, generally speaking.
And I love rewarding BMW for taking the chance of bringing diesel here. And I love the car. With that said, I think BMW should have brought up a 323D here, which has 210 horsepower, does 0 to 60 in 7 seconds, and would have gotten 50 miles per gallon on the highway. And then I would have said, AOI, no question, you can have your 3 Series and get Prius gas mileage. That's the car that would have been AOI. We're talking about fuel economy because the environment is on everyone's concern, and we're talking about prices because the world's economy fell apart. And just like we did 3 years ago, we have a car that's $25,000 that you can park next to any $90,000 Panamera or any $60,000 S4 and never be embarrassed by it, have just as much fun, get great gas mileage. And the GTI was our favorite car 3 years ago, and it's back now, and it's similar, but it gets substantially better gas mileage. It has a much better interior. It's a lot quieter. It handles better. It does everything better. And we're still in the same world where we're talking about fuel economy and price, and it's the only car that's $25,000 that does everything.
I just had a fabulous time with that on the track. Just amazing. And what went through my head was, wow, for less than $30,000, someone could have this, take it to the track on a weekend and not feel at all slighted against whatever else is there at that track.
So, after 2 extremely contentious evenings and conversations from some very passionate people, we managed to boil our Automobile of the Year list down to 5 top candidates, each one heavily defended, and we came to our final conclusion. The 2010 Automobile Magazine Automobile of the Year is the Volkswagen GTI, something every one of us can stand behind. If you'd like to read more about it, you can either pick up the January issue of Automobile Magazine on sale at newsstands December 1st, or you can go to automobilemag.com. And just as a little aside, we also chose our 10 All-Stars. There may be 40 vote-getting vehicles, but we pick 10 There may be more than that, and I think of every single vote as being a validation of that vehicle. Because remember, these votes are from our worldwide staff. And if any one of our editors thinks this is worthy of a vote, then I think it's interesting. So of course we're gonna pick the top 10, and they will come out in February issues of Automobile Magazine, on sale January 5th.